Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
Good morning, greetings friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado, registered pharmacist number 12275. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your vitality and health and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 28 years of practicing pharmacy, I've seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes and hypertension and obesity and all manners of skin diseases, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle. But what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure, because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that healing, renewing, regenerating system a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health or nutrition or prescription drugs, we welcome your phone calls on The Bright Side. Our number is 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised on the program, you can head over to my websites, brightsideben.com or criticalhealthnews.com or pharmacistben.com. Likewise, if you want to join the Bright Side Ben team, you can sign up right from the websites, or you can call the phone team at 866-735-2470. 866-735-2470. Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side. We are talking skin. We're talking skin health in honor of my new Truth Treatment products, which have been kind of soft launched, they call it. Soft launched, if you will, last week. Been getting orders on it, and I'll be talking skincare here for a little bit, probably for the next couple of weeks in honor of my new Truth products. We've been talking acne and general skin health. I think the most important thing, the take-home message, if you will, when it comes to skin health, is that the skin is the body. Yes, I know, obviously the skin's the body, everybody will say that, but we don't really address the skin as if it's part of the body. We kind of treat it as if it's separated from the body, like it's a coating or a covering, and it's not a coating or a covering. It's a fully fledged organ, one of the organs of the body. We say it all the time. Skin is the body's largest organ. And what's more, it's a microcosm of the rest of the body. Like the rest of the body, the organ called the skin, think about it like an organ, like the heart or the spleen or the lungs or the liver. The organ that we call the skin is not a mere covering. It's a structure that's made up of tissues, of substances that are very similar to the tissues that make up the organs in the rest of the body. The definition of an organ, by the way, is a structure that contains at least two different kinds of tissue that are functioning together. There's four basic tissues. Tissue is just stuff. We don't want to get all confused or thrown off by the concept, the biological concept, or the word tissue. Tissue's stuff. Remember, the body's made up of cells and stuff. Cells and stuff. Raisins and bread. Just like raisin bread is made up of raisins and stuff, bread. Our bodies are made up of cells and stuff, and that stuff is called tissue. The tissue is extruded from the cells. Just like the old Play-Doh machines when you were a kid. Remember those little Fun Factory or Play-Doh Factory little devices where you put the Play-Doh in the top and you squeeze down and the Play-Doh comes out in weird shapes? That's called an extrusion machine. Extrusion machines are used in making cereals and cookies and crackers. In fact, the extrusion machine was one of the great advances in food processing. With the extrusion machine, cereals were made possible, and cookies and crackers and a lot of foods were made possible with the extrusion machine. Well, the cell is the original extrusion machine, the biological extrusion machine. It extrudes stuff, secretes stuff, squeezes stuff out of its body. Now, how this happens is a miracle beyond comprehension. Nobody can really tell you exactly why or how this is done, but it is. That's how the body's made. The cells produce the stuff. The tissue. There's 4 main tissues in the body: connective tissue, muscle tissue, nerve tissue, and a covering tissue called epithelia tissue. However, for all intents and purposes, there's really only 3 tissues in the body. There's nervous tissue, covering tissue, and then what I call beef tissue. Beef tissue is a combination of connective tissue and muscle tissue. Muscle tissue, self-explanatory. It's how the body moves. Connective tissue connects all the parts together. If you look at a piece of beef, a steak, you'll see the combination of connective tissue and muscle tissue, and you'll see why I refer to them as one thing: steak tissue, beef tissue. A steak, a slice of meat, is made up of muscle tissue. That's the flesh. That's the delicious part. And then you've got the wiry, kind of fatty connective tissue. Fat's an example of connective tissue. Connective tissue dissolves into the flesh tissue, into the muscle tissue in a steak, and it's what makes our steak so delicious, the connective tissue. You need to have a little connective tissue. As it dissolves or melts in your oven or on your grill, it imparts a really delicious flavor to the beef. You wouldn't like your beef too much if it didn't have a little bit of connective tissue. Of course, you don't want a lot of connective tissue. But the point I'm making is these two things are wound around or wrapped around each other in the body. They're essentially one tissue, and they make up about 90% of the body. You guys, check that out. That's important. The vast majority of the body is connective and muscle tissue, or beef, not nervous tissue, not covering tissue, which is called epithelia. Most disease is muscle, or physical disease is muscle and connective tissue disease. And if you want to stay young, you got to work on the muscle and connective tissue for the most part. A little bit on the epithelia, maybe a little bit on the nervous tissue, but for the most part, when you're working on the body, you want to work on the connective and muscle tissue. For the most part, when we get old and shriveled, that's what happens when we get old, we shrivel up. It's not a neural issue, nerve tissue issue. It's not a epithelia tissue issue for the most part. A little bit, but for the most part, it's a beef issue, connective and muscle tissue issue. And so when we were interested in anti-aging or building the body or staying strong or staying robust well into our 7th decade, 8th decade, and 9th decade, even more, we're talking about building connective and muscle tissue, building beef tissue. And this is true about the entire body. Of course it's true about the entire body because 80 to 90% of the body, it's almost synonymous, is beef tissue, connective/muscle tissue. And this is true not just about the body, but about the skin. If you want to have beautiful, healthy, robust, vigorous, strong skin, you got to focus on connective tissue and muscle tissue building. And it's the same, from a nutritional standpoint, it's going to be the same way that you build the body. So if you want to have a strong body, you do the same things that you'll do if you want to have strong skin. And vice versa. If you want to have strong skin, you do the same things that you need to do if you want to have a strong body. And there's key nutrients that are involved in building connective and muscle tissue. We've talked about vitamin A now for a while, and that is really one of vitamin A's, if not the most important role for vitamin A. It's to build connective tissue and muscle tissue. Now, there's lots of things vitamin A does, but one of the main things it does is it helps build connective tissue and muscle tissue. That means bone. That means blood. You know, your blood is connective tissue. That means all of the material inside the body upon which the organs hang. Connective tissue supports all of the organs. Your organs are sitting inside the body the way fruit is sitting in a Jell-O mold. In fact, Jell-O is connective tissue. If you ever made a Jell-O mold with pieces of pineapple and apple and cherries or whatever you put in the Jell-O mold, you basically have a representation of how the organs hang inside the body. The Jell-O represents connective tissue. Jell-O is cow connective tissue. It's collagen. The Jell-O would represent in our model the connective tissue inside the body, and the fruit would represent the organs, and anything you could do to build connective tissue is going to help support the suspension of the organs inside the body. When the organs hang or they get loose because the connective tissue gets loose, we call that a prolapse, or we can call that a hernia. That's what a hernia is, and a prolapse. If you ever had a prolapsed uterus or a prolapsed bladder, if you ever heard of those terms, prolapsed rectum, Various parts of the body will start to hang. They'll get loose. They won't hang or suspend the way they're supposed to. The jello will break down and the fruit will start to hang. These are all connective tissue issues. And these are all places where you can work with vitamin A. Of course, the skin, as a microcosm of the rest of the body, also depends on this connective tissue, muscle tissue matrix, and this is where vitamin A comes in. All right, got lots more to say about keeping your skin strong and healthy. And by the way, wrinkles are an example of the connective tissue breaking down. That's why vitamin A is so important for protecting against aging and wrinkles. All right, we're going to take a break. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back after this.
On the average, Americans work between 45 to 50 years, hoping to build up enough wealth to retire and live out their golden years. Unfortunately, with taxation, the rising cost of food, energy, housing, and medical, many retirees are forced to live below the poverty line. Is this a flaw free enterprise, or is our monetary unit we call the Federal Reserve Note forcing us into perpetual debt, ensuring inflation and higher taxes? These questions and more can be answered by reading G. Edward Griffin's book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. Congressman Ron Paul states it's what every American needs to know about central bank power. A gripping adventure into the secret world of international banking cartel. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I will give a silver dollar from the early 1900s to anyone who purchases this book. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order a copy today. It's critical that the public be made aware of the system. Call and order your copy today at 1-800-686-2237. That's 1-800-686-2237.
Pharmacist Ben Fuchs believes virtually all disease states can be backtracked to digestive problems.
Deficiencies in stomach acid can affect all downstream systems. Taking digestive enzymes can be amazingly helpful for dealing with deficiencies in stomach acid. Enzymes require low pH for activation. You can also use aloe vera juice, by the way. Sugars in aloe vera have a coating effect on the digestive system. Longevity has a cool product called Noni Plus, which is made from aloe and the noni fruit. It's tasty. It can also function to support digestive acidification of the stomach, and activation of digestive enzymes.
Take Pharmacist Ben's advice and support your digestive system by ordering Noni Plus from Longevity. Call 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470 or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
It's time to build your own emergency food stockpile with the industry leader, My Patriot Supply. Once you try them, you'll know why so many Americans like you have made them part of their emergency preparedness plan. Experience the My Patriot Supply difference today with this unbelievable offer. Right now, a 4-week food supply is only $99, and that includes free shipping. That's 50% off the online price. Call 800-274-3070 to claim yours. Limit 2 per caller while supplies last. This offer isn't available online, so you want to make sure and grab this opportunity to get prepared today. 800-274-3070 to get your 4-week food supply for the incredible price of only $99, and it'll be shipped to you completely free. Call 800-274-3070 right now. That's 800-274-3070 to claim yours while supplies last. Don't wait. Call today.
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates. 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. A little right, a little left, but always independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
All All right, we're back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thank you for being here. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time. Of course, you can always get our programs 24/7 via the archive page at brightsideben.com. Also, benfuchsarchives.com. Thank you to Peter in the UK for setting that up. If you're interested in checking out my blog or my blogs, pharmacistben.com. That's set up by my good friend and webmaster Robert Lundgren, and then my new blog that I'm doing with George Noria from Coast to Coast. That is criticalhealthnews.com.